No earrings. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, shh. I'll be quiet because it's kind of early. It's kind of early and it's on a weekend. But who is this person that writes my schedule? Yeah, that would be me. This is me writing my schedule saying I was going to show up at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning. Good morning, Kara. Good morning, Pinky. Good morning. Oh, hey, Melissa. Nice to see you. Space Donut. Okay. Thank you. So I'm not the only one who's up at this hour. So, hey all. Thank you for showing up with me because I looked at my calendar last night. I was like, I said I was going to be on 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning. And I don't know if you know about this, at least the way my schedule works. Sunday mornings come after Saturday nights, right? Oh, Christina. Oh my gosh, I hope you're feeling better. And that's so nice of you to set an alarm and to show up. So here's the thing. I have found that if you want to get something out of something, you will, and if you won't, you won't. So I'm gonna encourage us all today. Did your decluttering donation run yesterday? Rock on, Melissa, the Irish Pink. So cool. Yeah. What I want to offer is let's get something out of today's TikTok live, okay? Just kind of, you know how like, I don't know if you guys do like yoga or whatever. I've started to do some yoga later here in my life, and I love it because this bod needs some stretching, let me tell you. And they often say like make an intention for your yoga class. How about we make an intention? Make an intention for today, even just this next 59 minutes where I'm going to be on TikTok live. Maybe you'll say something that will inspire me. Maybe I will be inspired by you. Maybe you will be inspired by me. Did I just say that? How about even just let's all kind of get our this is going to sound so like life coachy and woo woo, but I'm going to say it anyway, is getting all of our vibes in alignment, you know? It's like, okay, here's today. We all have today out ahead of us through our windshield. And what I want to suggest is thinking about what do you want to do today? All right. Maureen is saying good morning. New here, interesting because I need help. Started yesterday. Rock on. I love it. Annalisa is saying I'm going to finish my coffee and then head outside to the garage to listen and declutter this morning. Oh, and good morning to you as well. It's all good. What a wonderful idea. Let me just mention that. So first of all, I guess comes some housekeeping things, which is hello, good morning. If we've never met before, my name is Beth, but I would much rather you remember Destination Decluttered. Okay, so what is Destination Decluttered, you may ask? Well, it's me, really. It's just me. I'm the problem. It's me. And what I want to offer is I am a decluttering life coach. Now, what is a decluttering life coach? Pretty much my grand plan is to help you make space in your life for what's important to you, not about what's important to me, because I know how much better it feels when that happens. And also when you do it for yourself and learn how to do it, because you might be able to hire somebody to come into your house and clean, right? But decluttering is really a decision-making process. It is saying, what do I want? What do I not want? And when you learn to make decisions that reflect the life you want, that is a powerful muscle to build. That is a powerful tool to have in your toolkit. I love it that Glam Glam 201 is saying, I'm cleaning the fridge while the live is on. So I encourage that too for you, for all of y'all. I will be on for the next hour or so. And many people, I often do show up doing TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube lives. And many people have told me that they find it helpful to put on one of my lives, even a recording of one. I do recordings. I record some of these and I put them on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. So if you go over there, there's like a whole nice little section of those. Pop one of those on and use it as like just the background noise when you're decluttering. Because I talk about, excuse me, I got a bit of a cold today. We talk about like motivation and inspiration and all the good Asians that kind of get you up and running and driving in the right direction. You know, I love it. Talisa is saying, I love when you are online. I get so much decluttering while listening to you. Thank you. Oh, I love it. My husband has been hearing me repeat what I've heard you say. Annalisa, I won't steer you wrong. I've got a husband as well. He also hears me repeating everything I say, but I'm hoping it helps. Y'all, I'm not even from the South, but I'll say y'all. You all of us. This is why I show up, to help you. Sure, I will be honest, it helps me. Like, this is my brain going, oh yeah, really? Sure, of course it helps me when you decide you want me to be your one-on-one coach and we work together and you pay me and all that kind of stuff. But even if that doesn't happen, either now or ever, I want to make sure that the stuff that I've learned about decluttering, decision making, how to chunk down the overwhelm. Somebody mentioned up thread how to get started, and I'll get to that in a hot minute. But I want to offer that it's just such a cool thing to learn, to say to yourself, to be able to say to yourself, what do I want my life to look and feel like? What do I want my home to look and feel like? And then be the person who creates that. You know, decluttering is really like a creative process. It is, because you're deciding what ingredients you have in your home. Okay. Okay, I see the word, the the overwhelm coming up a few times. So I will show you. And actually the neat thing is tips on going through deceased members' belongings. I've got some help with that too. Okay. So here's what I want to offer. So let me start with the easy stuff first. So the easy stuff is going to be the process to use. And I like to make things really clear. I like to take the drama out of them and the mystery and the whatever. The process to use to stop being overwhelmed and start taking action, to doing something that is going to get you towards that destination, your destination decluttered. Now, let me talk about the destination just for a smidge, because that is integral in your coaching and you doing things. This is something I never learned, or I learned it like the wrong way, which was when I wasn't excited about where I was going, I was dragging my feet, I was complaining, I was making excuses, whatever. As soon as I realized the power of having a destination I was excited about, what do I want my home to look and feel like? What do I want my life to look and feel like? And knowing that I was headed towards that helped me make the decisions so much easier, because I could say, does this item can I envision this item in this dream life of mine or not? So first tip I would say is to start envisioning, start thinking about, even just planting the seed right now when we're on this TikTok live, to say, today I'm just going to think about, I'm going to walk around my house, I'm going to look around and say, what do I want this room to look and feel like? What do I want that room to look and feel like? And here's a fun thing. Immediately right then when I said walk around your house and look in a room, one of the 3 ways, I'm going to do some videos on this, I think I'm going to do them later today, is to overcome overwhelm is to chunk it down. Overwhelm just means you're looking at it too big. You're looking at the wide angle lens. It looks like the world is on your shoulders, and you want to pull that overwhelm down and say, I'm going to chunk this down. Okay. Yes, and Annalisa, you're so right. Begin with the end in mind. I got that from that too. And the end sounds kind of negative, so I like saying like a destination, like a road trip. So what I want to offer is, these are 3 ways that you can overcome overwhelm so you can take action in the right direction, okay? So the first one is spatially. So instead of looking at the overwhelm too big, if my whole house is cluttered, my whole home, my whole life is cluttered, as soon as we start talking about life, that can be too big picture. So that's why I start with everybody with clutter, because decluttering gives you a visual evidence of the results of your decision making. Sometimes when we talk about how we want our lives to look and feel, it's not as patently obvious to the external world, but when we start to work on clutter, it does. So the first thing you want to do if your home is cluttered is to, instead of looking at your whole cluttered home, is chunk down your overwhelm spatially. Pick a space in your home that you want to start with and start there. So this can be a room. Start with a room in your home. Maybe this whole room is too big and you're so overwhelmed. Start with a section of your room. You can move. Some people move like clockwise, counterclockwise. Some people start top to bottom. Some people start bottom to top. Any way you can chunk down where you start by looking at the space you're in and making it small enough to say, you know what, maybe I can't do this whole room, but I can do my desktop. Okay? So that's number one. Chunk it down. Yes. And think about this. I want to say, Sojourner, what I want to offer is this has really helped me. Think of the word overwhelm is over you, but you can bring it down. So instead of thinking overwhelm, like, so this is a cool thing because you can be overwhelmed in other areas of your life, and the chunking it down method is going to realize that you can regain control over it because you're just trying to hold, you got the whole world in your hands. Yeah, too big, but you can hold, I don't know, like maybe a little world or something. I like to travel, so I get like globes and maps all over the place. So the first way to chunk it down is to get it smaller spatially. Start with, instead of the whole house, a room, a space in a room, and then start to declutter. The second way to declutter and chunk down the overwhelm is to chunk it down by time. So instead of saying, oh my God, I don't have enough time, it's going to take too long, whatever, you're not going to get your decluttering done in one fell swoop. So don't even expect that's, you're not going to get to the end the first shot, right? But what you can do is you can start and you can set your timer. So you can allow yourself a certain chunk of time to get yourself started. So pretty much everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's cell phone's got an alarm system. It's got like a, what do you call it? Like, you can set an alarm and a timer goes off, set a timer and an alarm goes off. Do that. Set it for 20 minutes, let it go, and then just start decluttering and saying, when I'm done with this 20 minutes, I will be 20 minutes closer to being decluttered than I was if I hadn't done anything. So spatially and time-wise, you can chunk down when you're decluttering, and you can do this every day. There is time in your life, even 5 minutes of decluttering, and that's really like the daily 5 minutes of decluttering or 10 minutes is what's going to keep you from getting cluttered again. And then the last one I want to just offer, because I want to make sure I get this out, is chunking things down by category. Now, category, what do I mean by that? Category of clutter. So when I coach, I have devised the 3 categories of clutter: surface clutter, stored clutter, and sentimental clutter. Okay? So sentimental surface clutter is all the stuff that's on your surfaces, kind of that everyday new stuff. I've got, like dishes in the sink, stuff on the counter, laundry that needs to be put away, laundry that needs to be out, that type of thing. Very kind of mundane stuff, but it adds up to your clutter. So start with your surface clutter. Then if your surface clutter looks good, then go to your stored clutter. Stored clutter is the stuff is behind doors and drawers. So then you can chunk it down by saying, okay, I'm going to do surface, then I'm going to do stored. The last one, and kind of on the road trip of decluttering, kind of the mountainous area that you need to prepare yourself for, is the sentimental clutter. So sentimental clutter is the stuff that is going to be, as somebody mentioned up thread, the stuff that was owned by people who you knew, who live on in your heart, but they may not be alive on the planet anymore. Okay, so I just want to offer many ways you can chunk things down. If you missed that, don't worry. I'm going to make a note to myself to download this one, TTL. I'm going to download this TikTok live, and I'm going to upload it to the Destination Decluttered YouTube page. So if you missed that and you were kind of scrambling and you're like, wait, what'd she say? I gotcha. I'll put it up there. You can rewatch it. All right. So, all sorts of people showing up. Here's a funny thing. I wasn't sure if a Sunday morning was going to be good. I thought people might be sleeping in, whatever. But you know what's a great thing about a Sunday? No. Never on a Sunday. Always on a Sunday. Sunday is kind of a cool way to say, okay, I'm going to start the next week out right. Who doesn't like a clean slate? Who doesn't like I'm going to begin again type thing, And I love it. Thank you, Sherry Webb, for subscribing to my Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. Also, just really quickly, if we haven't met and you haven't liked my TikTok page here, if you could give it a like. That will allow you to be notified when I go live. And this week I'm showing up a lot live because I was away a few, as of last week, and in a few weeks I will be too. So I try to show up. Thank you for all the follows. I just saw Flurry. There you go. Yay! Camping and take the dogs for a walk. Here's another thing I want to offer. And I will say this. This is scrolling. This is going by really fast, and I want to try to grab everything for you. Yep. Enjoy the stuff. I'm going to do a video on this too because I feel it's so important. You've got to have a balance. I really feel like there should be a balance between the work you do and the joy you have in your life, because none of us know what tomorrow will bring. And so while I offer, I am always talking about decluttering, but please do not misconstrue that as me saying you need to spend your life decluttering. Oh my gosh, no. But the neat thing is when you chunk down your decluttering and you say, I'm going to declutter for an hour today, and then you go and you do that, and then you go and play, and you walk your dog and you go camping, you're going to feel better because you have shown up to do something you know is important, and you're also showing up for another thing that's important, which is enjoying your life. You know, I don't want you to stay home and deny yourself the joy because you got to clean your garage out on a beautiful day. But on the flip side, I know how much better it feels when I go out and enjoy myself, knowing that I also did something good to get me in the direction of my life, wanting it in my home looking like I want it to feel. So we have a lot of questions and things like that I want to get to. Yes, Texas Nostalgic Treasures, totally. Organized equals saves time in the long run. And here's the funny thing. I do not do this. I do not offer decluttering coaching just to make your life look like a freaking Martha Stewart, Pinterest page. No, I want your home to look and feel like you want it to look like. I want your home to look and feel like and make it easier for you to live with. Finding your stuff in a hot minute, being able to run out the door, get all the stuff you have, not freaking out because you can't find anything. So you have peace of mind whenever you go to look for something. That's why you do it. Okay? I love this. I love watching. This is another thing too, everybody, is pay attention to the words you use. Yep, ADHD tips, chunk it down. You got even the partner, even right now, if you listen to one of my recorded or one of these lives, when you are decluttering, it's almost like that kind of buddy system, like that mirroring, that really helps a lot of folks. Yep, there we go. All sorts of good stuff coming up here. So clutter stresses you out. Yes, clutter can stress you out. So think about the fact that decluttering will reduce the stress in your life. There you go. I love that. Carly says, I'm ADHD. Having shoes on helps. You know what? I love it. Anything that works for you. Okay, so I am struggling with sentimental clutter that is stored. All right, let me just jump into the deep end right here. I will also get to, but what if we need it later? All right, so a couple things. So sentimental clutter. Do not start with the sentimental clutter, you guys. When I talk about a lot of things using metaphor. And this to me is always like I envision myself walking into the YMCA after not having worked out in years and going immediately to the 500-pound dumbbell. I haven't even warmed up. I've just signed up. And then I go immediately to the heavy, painful stuff. And I try to lift it and I try to lift it and it's hard and I strain myself and I'm hurt and it's painful and then I don't want to come back again. So don't do that. What I want to offer is start with the surface, then go to stored, and then build your muscle. Build your decluttering decision-making muscle. So then go to sentimental items. Now, sentimental items, so I talk a lot about like kind of the journey of decluttering, and I love to use it as like a road trip. And the part of sentimental clutter that you do, the decluttering with sentimental stuff, the part of that journey that it reminds me of is when I drove Route 66 from Chicago to LA a few years ago. And there is a space, I always want to call it Snake River Canyon, but because I'm Gen X, and so I'm thinking of like, what's his name? Not Jacques Cousteau. My husband wrote a song about him. Evel Knievel, right? But it's like this winding kind of mountainous, scary place that you needed to prepare yourself for in order to get through to the other side. And when I think of sentimental clutter, that's what I think of. So I mean that by preparing yourself. Sentimental clutter is stuff that reminds you of people and maybe even a person like you used to be. It tells you stories. These stories are going to be good, they're going to be bad, they're going to be sad, they're going to be bittersweet. Sentimental clutter is going to make you feel feelings. So be prepared for that and allow yourself to feel the feelings. Storing your mail that came in or putting stuff in the dishwasher isn't really going to make you feel the feels, but boy, is sentimental clutter. So be prepared for that. When you do that, think about this. And decision fatigue is a real thing. ADHD people, regular folks, all of us. We have a certain amount of gas in our gas tank, okay, for decision making every day. And what I want to offer is everyday decision making. There's like a little, a little bit of every time you make a decision. Now I feel like Genie from I Dream of Genie. But every time you make a decision, it's like you empty your decision-making energy just a little bit. That's why it's often easier, like in the morning or at a certain point in time when your gas tank is full, to do it, right? What I want to offer to you about sentimental clutter is that Sentimental clutter is more, instead of like a little chick, like an eighth or a 16th, it's going to go like chunk. It's going to use a lot more of your decision-making energy to decide what to do with the things that are sentimental. So just be prepared for that. Have that energy to start with. Like when I was on Route 66, you would not start this journey over the winding, highways in the mountains without having gas in your tank. You needed to fill up. You needed to make sure you were prepared. And also, if you weren't exhausted, you needed to prepare for that. So prepare for it. And this is not to scare you off of it, but it's just so you were able to get through it. Okay? And then I guess the final thing I will offer on sentimental clutter, because boy, howdy, do I see a lot of stuff going through. So I want to make sure I can get to as many questions as I can. Last thing on sentimental clutter is I want to offer is the item does not contain the person, unless it's an urn. The item does not contain the person. The item does not contain the story. The item does not contain the feeling. The person, the story, the feeling of that person is in you. It's in your heart. It's in your head. The story, the feeling, it's right here. The thing, the clutter, the piece that you don't know what to do with, is just a reminder of that person, that story, that thing. So you have imbued that thing with meaning. You can also extract meaning from that item so that you can pass the item along to somewhere else and keep the story in you. So find what works for you. Maybe it's just enough to say, I remember that story, now I can pass it along. You relive it, you remember it, then you pass it along. Maybe you want to write down the story. Maybe you want to take pictures of the things and write down the story. Maybe you want to make a video and do almost like a show and tell for nobody else but yourself and say, this is the thing that so-and-so gave me. So the stories are removed from the item and it might help you. Okay? So what I want to offer is those are a few ways to deal with the sentimental clutter. Okay? The other thing too I want to mention is I see a lot of folks showing up today. So thank you, Beth, Destination Decluttered. Please follow me if you want to be notified when I show up live, because all I do, I'm kind of like an awesome broken record, because all I do is show up and help you with your clutter and your stuff. And this week I'm showing up 7 days a week on TikTok, twice on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So follow me and you'll be notified about this. The other reason why I show up on the other socials is because I know that there are people on the planet who are struggling with clutter, but they're not on TikTok. So if you know somebody who is struggling with clutter and stuff and they are not on TikTok, just let them know that there's help out there. Let them know that there's some woman who shows up often and answers questions for you to get you started from get you overwhelmed, get you out of the overwhelm and into action, and action that's aligned with where you want your home to look and feel like, okay? So I just saw a flurry of follows. Thank you so much. That means a lot. That means that what I'm doing with my time, showing up early on a Sunday morning and then a Monday morning and a Tuesday and a Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and then, oh my God, you guys, next week is going to be Memorial Day weekend. What? I'm here for you, okay? So I'm seeing flurries. Okay, so Jamie Klingsmith, everybody, overwhelm, just chunk it down. Find where can you start? What's a thing? Let's challenge ourselves today, okay? Just think to yourself, I can start somewhere. Where can I start today to declutter my home? Now, you're not going to get there today. You're not going to get to the end of it today, but you can start. That's why I like to look at it like a road trip, like a cross-country road trip. Now, I'm on the East Coast of the U.S., so I'm always picturing driving west and go west, young man, and all that, to like California, to the Pacific. I'm on the, Atlantic coast, Pacific coast, that type of thing, okay? And what I want to offer is just start. Anything you know how to do to declutter, start. And then when you get stuck, come to me. I know how to get you unstuck. I'm kind of like AAA. I'll come give you a push out of the mud, show you how to get out of the mud yourself so you don't get in the mud in the first place. Like somebody just mentioned, they cry a lot about this, and crying about that means that it's something that's important to you and you want to do something about it. So honor the fact that that is bringing up some emotion to you, and then do something with those tears, okay? There you go. And the other thing, too, I want to offer, I definitely need motivation. I always say I will get to it, and you never do. All right, here's where the life coaching part of my decluttering comes in. Because if you only deal with the surface stuff, if you never get kind of what's stored in here and the sentimental stuff inside you, you may be able to make your surfaces look clean, but oh my gosh, you're going to get recluttered and it's not going to feel right. It's not going to last. So what I want to offer is what you think about your clutter makes you feel a certain way. And when you feel a certain way, you do a certain thing. Now, if you think it's going to be hard, it's going to be hard. It's going to feel crappy. You're probably not going to do it. But if you think a better thought, if you think, oh my gosh, this could be actually fun. And it is fun. I'm telling you, I have clients that have testimonialed without even me asking, saying how fun it has been. They have found things they thought were lost forever. They connected with friends because they were sharing things. All sorts of good things can happen when you declutter, but unless you think it's going to be fun, it's not going to be fun. So in general, just here's a great thing. What you think about something makes you feel a certain way. When you feel a certain way, you do a certain thing. When you do a certain thing, you get a certain result. Head, heart, hands. Right? So what I want to offer is to start to think about how you think about your clutter. Change those thoughts if they're unhelpful thoughts, and that will help you. Now, I know that was like a super like haiku version of that, but there are a lot of questions here that I want to get to. But everybody, we all, not just for your clutter, but we all could benefit, mine own self included, is when we're stuck or not making the progress we want or there's something going on, pull over to the side of the road and check what's going on under the hood. You know, if you keep on moving forward and your engine is making a clackety 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 sound, or your tires are wobbling, you would pull over and figure out what was going on and fix that so you can move forward. Same thing with your life. If something is not working, even if you're moving forward, you could move forward a lot better, quicker, easier, more peace of mindy if you find out what's going on behind the hood and fix it so that you can move forward. Okay? So there you go. What I want to offer. Okay, late husband's items, that's sentimental clutter. There we go. Next weekend is your start date to start packing and decluttering. Sounds good. All right, let me see if I can go backwards here. Pick out some good things. I will not be able to answer everybody's question here because, holy Moses, lovely to see everybody. What I would offer is like my page. Actually, thank you, Susan, for just subscribing to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. That's where I do post the videos that I post to here on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then I also post recordings of these TikTok lives so you can put them on in the background and be reminded of what I said and get inspired to say, what do I want my home to look and feel like? So I will most likely in the next 33 minutes not be able to get to all the questions that came up, but they are awesome questions. What I want to offer is if I did not get to your question, please shoot me like a personal message through TikTok and I can make a video to answer it, because inevitably your question is unique to you, but it's not universal to you. It will help somebody else, you know? Andy says they are stuck because it all has to do with my kids' cancer and multiple traumas. Okay, so here's a great opportunity for me to offer that you're right. Notice how you said it's trauma and cancer, and there's stuff behind the stuff. It's not just about this thing you bought at Target. It's about the meaning behind it, about how it came into your life, when it came into your life, and all those things. Honor those feelings and just know that that's behind it, even getting started. And that can be sentimental clutter. That can make you feel like feelings. The other thing, too, I want to offer, and I want to be really clear about this because I like to be so transparent and real about who I am and what I'm doing. I freaking hate all that kind of like salesy stuff. I do one-on-one coaching with people, I do. But I always do a consultation beforehand to ensure that what you're struggling with is what I can help you with. And what I want to offer right now to all of us is, because I saw the H word, I saw the hoarder word come up in some of the threads here, is hoarding is an official diagnosis in the DSM-5. And that is something that if you are a true hoarder, you should be diagnosed by a medical professional and get licensed medical treatment for that, because it's typically trauma induced and you need help with somebody who can really help you with that. I am not that person. I am not. And I say that with love because God knows I wouldn't want to be the person to, for example, show you how to, promise that I can show you how to parallel park in a busy, street going the other way when I am not trained and I'm not good at that. Okay. So right now I am not currently trained to do that. But the good news is there are people who are trained to do that. Okay. So I help tons of people. I mean, right now I'm looking at my roster of clients and I'm looking at my map of the US that has, because I do my coaching on Zoom. So I am able to help a lot of people. But I just want to offer, that's one of the reasons I do consultations, is so to make sure that what you're struggling with is something I can help you with. And also that we would get along, because we're in the car for 10 weeks. I work in 10-week packages. So I wouldn't want to be on a road trip with somebody I didn't get along with. I'd be like, oh my gosh, get me out of here, And so this, make sure that we would be working well together, okay? If you want to do a consultation, it's on my website, destinationdecluttered.com. I got a ton of spaces open this week because I'm going to be around, all right? Oh boy, do we have a lot of things. Want to display books, but will filled shelves create too much visual clutter? It's up to you. It's up to you, Just Be a Champ, to say, how much visual clutter do I want? Can I stand myself? Some people like a very minimalist room. Some people are maximalists. Some people are in between. What I say is two things. One is that if the stuff brings you joy, display it. If you have gone through and all the books you have on display are ones that you're like, yes, I like this, I want to refer to it again, I want to read it again, that's great. If not, pull out the books that you don't like. But then the other thing too, here's a funny thing. Ever have this thing where you're like, oh my gosh, it's going to be like this, and then you really belabor like setting up your books in bookcases. I have 2 huge bookcases in my my living room, and it's like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then you like never look at them again. They become, as I like to say, Oliver Wise, like part of the furniture, like wallpaper. You don't even see them. So you may not even see them as visual clutter. But again, that's a decision you make. Is only you know what's going to be feeling like visual clutter to you. The funny thing is that my house has a lot of stuff in it, but I love the stuff. It is well organized. It is displayed nicely. It is shown with love. And when people come into our house, they are just delighted by it, including us. But other people may, to them, think that I have a cluttered house. And they may say, how can you be a decluttering coach if you have a cluttered house? Clutter is the stuff that gets in the way of the good stuff. Clutter is like the crap. Clutter is the weeds in the garden of your home, right? So if you weed the garden, then the stuff that you have can flourish, okay? But only you can prevent forest fires. Only you can only you can decide what works for you, okay? I have beautiful big seashells. What and where can I display them? Look around your house. I bet you can find a place, Yep, ADHD has object permanence issues. When it's out of sight, we forget about it. Now that can work to your detriment, but it also can work to your benefit. You can also, here's the thing I want to challenge, and with love, ADHD folks, is there are certain things I bet that you put away that you know that they're there. And how you get object permanence issues with things that are kind of behind doors and drawers is by habit, right? I bet you know that your stuff is in your drawers, but you know what? Find a system that works for you and works for the way your brain works. That's the great thing about one-on-one coaching is right now when I'm talking to over 300 people right now, hello, folks, is I can only offer kind of a general, kind of an overview of what might work for a large amount of people. It's never going to be the perfect scalpel version of what's going to help you. But what I want to offer is finding a system that works for you and how your brain works is worth figuring out. Okay? All right. There we go. Finding a home for everything that's left. Oh, that's very nice. Somebody just said, hit the like button and copy the share link so Beth can reach more people. Thank you very much for doing that. I'm still kind of figuring this stuff. I just show up and hit like, whatever. Am I in a craft room or office? Yeah, Maureen. So this is my office. This is my, I don't do crafts. I thought I was going to be crafty. I'm not crafty. My decluttering, me showing up, this is my creative outlet. This is what I love to do because I know what I'm doing is helping people versus just adding crafty stuff to their lives. This room did not always look like this. This room was often what we used to call like the pitch and ditch room. Anytime we had people over for a big party, we would inevitably realize we ran out of time because we had such clutter. We would shove stuff in this room, shut the door, and pray to God nobody got mistaken and thought it was the bathroom and opened the door. Since I really took a hard look at what was keeping me, not just surface, because I was good. I mean, I was a visual merchandiser. I was managed all sorts of like teams and things. I can make things look good on the surface, but I was always getting recluttered. Until I figured out what was going on beneath the system, the scenes and the systems that kept me recluttering, this was always that room. Once it wasn't, this room stays this way like 99.9% of the time. Of course, things like not build up, but we're all humans. I am so not perfect. I am not. But the thing is that I realize that it's like life happens and things will pile up when you're busy. And then you know what? The sooner you deal with them, the short amount of time the piles get to be. Okay? What else do we got here? I'm just going to kind of scroll. It's almost like roulette. I'm just going to like see where it goes. Maybe Price is Right. Like ba-ba-ba-da. Let me see what things I got. Let me see what we have here. I have bins and bins of my mom's stuff and I can't part with it. It's so heavy. I miss her so much. Okay. Everybody, with these sentimental items, allow yourself time to heal. Give yourself some distance. Give yourself, as I like to say, some grace and some space. Do not go while you're still grieving and bleeding and injured and wounded by this legitimate grief in your life. Don't try to pitch stuff then. It's going to be agonizing. Wait for yourself to heal a bit so you can look at this stuff and not burst into tears. Wait for that time and then do a little bit at a time, a little bit, okay? The other thing too I want to, and this came up on a consult, a client call this week, is it's never going to be perfect. It's not. It's not. I, as a decluttering person, I get paid to train people, to show them, to give you a process to get decluttered and stay that way. I, too, have kind of a bin of stuff on a table down the basement that I'm like, I don't know, I got to do something with these books or this or that or this sentimental thing, but I'm not sure what to do with it, so it sits there. But the cool thing is even though it won't be perfect, you can make your life so much better by dealing with the clutter from the surface on down. Deal with the surface clutter. Get yourself some good habits that keep you decluttered, then go to the stuff that's in storage, and then deal with the stuff that is sentimental. And that's going to help you. You're never going to be done, because it's always stuff, you're always bringing stuff into your life and then seeing if it works or not. And then it goes, ideally, if it doesn't work, it goes out, right? So just remember, give yourself some grace and some space and that it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better. Okay. Okay. What else do we got going on here? Okay. 8:37. Oh, one thing I want to offer too, I forgot to mention. What was it? I also have an email mailing list if you want to get on that. You do that by signing up at my website, destinationdeclutter.com/join. That's also destinationdeclutter.com. My website is also where you sign up for a consultation if you want to do one-on-one coaching with me. But as far as the email mailing list, what I want to offer, and thank you for subscribing to my my Destination Decluttered YouTube page. I appreciate it. Is I do not send out a lot of spammy emails. How crazy would it be if I were a decluttering coach and I end up decluttering up your email box? That would be ridiculous. The two things of real good value I find that you get from me when you sign up for my mailing list are thus. Immediately when you sign up, attached to your welcome email is a habit tracker. This is mine. I use it all the time. It's folded over because I was traveling, right? It is a PDF of a habit tracker that helps you keep track of the little habits that you know are going to make a big difference, like decluttering for 20 minutes a day. Just you put that on there and every day you do it. Can you imagine if you started today? You signed up for my mailing list. You got the email. You printed the thing out and all you did was put on that habit tracker, declutter for 20 minutes. If in 30 days from now, because it's like a 31 day thing, you fill in the dates. It's very flexible. But in 30 days, 20 minutes a day adds up. It would make such a difference. The other thing, too, that I think is really cool that you get when you sign up for my email mailing list is once a month, I do a email members only Zoom call. And the only way you get the Zoom invite for that is to be on my email mailing list. So you will get that if you're on the mailing list already. I send it out, the Zoom link, around the 1st of the month. So don't worry about that. And even right now, like today is the 20th, it'll be in a couple of weeks. I'll send it out for June. So get on my mailing list now. Get your habits, get your habit poop in a scoop. And then also around the 1st of the month, which gosh, is going to be like next week or, the week after this coming one, you can get on, you'll get the Zoom call. Okay. Just enough of that. I just want to make sure that I'm giving you, so when I sign off in 20 some odd minutes, if I haven't gotten to your question, you know that there are resources there to get you the help you need, to answer your questions so you can move forward on this road trip from where you are to where you want your home to look and feel like, okay? What else do we have? Okay, putting house up for sale, don't know where to start with our stuff. Maureen, here's what I want to offer. Start with the stuff you don't like. Start with the stuff you've outgrown. You, your family, clothing, stuff you don't use anymore. Start with the easy stuff that you don't want in your new home. A new home, if you're putting your house up for sale, I'm assuming you have a new home you're moving to. What do you want your new home to look and feel like? And how do you want it to be different in a good way from where you're living now? All right? So even all of us who aren't even moving, I've done this before, and it's kind of fun. Play this game with yourself. Is say, pretend you're moving. Have some fun with it. I love playing with my coaching. I like making my coaching fun. I like looking at things. So here's the thing that helped me was I played this game that I had to move out of the house I had now. But the good news was in this pretend game, I was moving into my dream home. The way it looked, the way it felt, where it was located. But the only difference is my dream home was like literally half the size of my current home. So therefore, I could only bring half of the items that are in my current home. So when I said, okay, I've got my dream home, what does my dream home look like, but it's smaller? What are the things that I would bring? I looked around, I saw what was in storage. What are the things that I would bring with me to that home, and what are the things that didn't make the cut? And if they didn't make the cut of your future imagined dream home, why are they still in your today home that could be your future, that could be your dream home? Play that game with your brain and see if that kind of jiggles some stuff up, makes you look at things from a different perspective to allow you to think something different and do something, okay? Okay, do I have ADHD organizing tips? I sure do. I got a whole bunch of them because I get the ADHD myself. So does my family. So do many of my clients. What I want to offer is find a system that works for you. Use tools. You're going to need to use tools to help you continue when stuff gets boring and hard. Notice when you start to cry and shut down for days and what's going on up here and why that makes you feel like you're going to shut down and not do anything. Okay? Examine those thoughts. Here's what I do. I like to fold a piece of paper in half, write down all the shitty stuff on one side, and then shake it off like Taylor Swift, and then go back to that thing. And then I like to practice what I call like translating those unhelpful thoughts into helpful ones, almost like a new language. ADHD folks, you're going to be benefited by a timer. You're going to be benefited by trying to just keep focused on stuff for a short amount of time. Reward yourself like nobody's business with some dopamine. So like a little Liz Lemon high five when you your timer goes off. Here's the thing. Write down all the things you need to do. And then cross off the ones when you did it. So writing it down, give yourself a high five. Crossing it out because you did it, high five. Then get another book, kind of like your what do you call it? Like a travel guide. Like I just call this or a daily diary, and write down the good stuff that you did. That's also a dopamine thing because my ADHD folks, we don't have enough dopamine that's automatically generated. We need to create it ourselves, okay? So yes, that you can do it, you know? Oh my God, see, it's so funny. Somebody just said that's why they never moved. Okay, what do we got? I'm going to work back. Woo! God, we got a wicked lot of questions here. All right, so here's the deal, folks. Just as a real quick thing, I show up often on TikTok. If you go to my page, there is a pinned post of where I'm going to be doing a TikTok live this entire week. So look at that and factor it into your schedule and show up. I may not get to all of these questions in the next 16 minutes because I am actually, as you are, going out on my day and going to do good stuff. I have a closet full of purses and I'd like a better way to store them. Any suggestions? First of all, here's one of the things, KK, that I love is I want to encourage you because that is stored stuff. Before you store it, get clear on if you're using it or not. How often do you use it? Maybe you don't need all those purses. Now, I can't make that decision for you. Only you can. But what I want to offer is also go through those purses. I had a client say she found a $50 bill in one of her purses. Why can't I pronounce that? Purses that was stored away for a year. So go through your purses and get clear about, do you need them all? And if you do and say yes, I'm sure there's ways you can display them. You know, there are all sorts of organizing tricks and hacks out there. I am more about you honing in on the stuff that aligns with you. And oftentimes what you're going to find out, it's fewer things than you think you need, you know? Oh, somebody just mentioned putting something on the curb with a free sign. I've done that a lot in my life. How do I throw away stuff that's not necessarily donatable? Interesting. So if it's not donatable, it must be trash, right? So if it's trash, throw it away. You know, if you don't want it yourself and you wouldn't give it to somebody else, here's the great sadness of it all. And not to bum everybody out, at a certain point, even the things we donate are going to go into a landfill. So the offer is you're going to do it sooner and improve your life, or you're going to hold on to it and be weighed down by it, and then after you're dead, somebody else is going to put it in a landfill? No, your life is worth it. So get used to the fact that I did that the other day. I had a t-shirt that I had, and like it had like a iron-on transfer on it, and in the dryer, that got all like crumply on it, so I unstretched it, and it still looked like crap. And the fabric was not good enough to make it into like a dish rag or anything like that. So I said, oh my gosh, I hate to do this, but nobody else is going to wear this. It's not a good rag. I can't think of any, you know what I mean? Whatever. So I put it in the trash. It is rare, but it happens. But what I want to offer is if you think something else, do not put donatable stuff in the trash. The stuff that you have that's still usable, but you're not using it, could benefit somebody else. Okay. Emptying out 55 years full of my mom's stuff in her house, and what a project. Yes, oh my gosh. So everybody, I'm Gen X. So I have my aging mother, kind of the generation above me, and I've got my nieces and nephews, the generation below me. We are overwhelmed with stuff. Our own stuff, kids' stuff we're going to inherit, whether you like it or not. Okay? What I want to offer is start with that stuff sooner or later. Okay? Encourage, offer your help with your parents, knowing that that stuff's coming down the pipeline to you, whether you want it to or not. And if your parents don't want help with their stuff and clutter, maybe it's too painful for them. Maybe they hang on to it because they worked through the depression and they know the scarcity feeling and they don't want that. Honor the fact that they may not want help, but start making a plan for yourself. Start making a plan that when they pass away, what are you going to do with their stuff? Are you going to be weighed down with it because it was sentimental, like so many people up thread are struggling with it? Or are you going to get clear about the few items that you might want from them? And then what are you going to do with the rest of their stuff? And start making a plan for yourself so your life feels good and it isn't suddenly weighed down by somebody else's stuff they didn't deal with. On the flip side of that, please, for the love of God, let's break this chain of clutter. This is a unique stage we are. I was an art history major, so I tend to look at things in the grand scheme of things, and we are in such a unique place in our history that we have so much stuff. And there's many reasons for this, but let's break that chain. Let's say this ends with us, and we do not burden the younger generations with this stuff, like we are. We also break the chain for ourselves. Like, do not spend any more time in your life being weighed down by shit than you already have. Let today be the day that you say, I am done. I am starting today on Sunday, May 21st, to say, I'm going to show up every day and do 20 minutes of decluttering. And the stuff I don't know how to do, I'm going to reach out and I'm going to see if there's a video that Destination Decluttered has about it. Or, I am going to get help with friends. I'm going to show up to a TikTok live and get inspired. I am going to do something every day to drive towards that life I want because I'm sick and tired of living my life looking and feeling the way I want to. So Stacey Gunderson, I want to offer, if you want to break that chain so badly, you can. You can. It's just a decision. Everybody, it's all up here. This is why I don't show up to your house and declutter like a TV show, because I know that the more powerful, awesome, long-lasting, life-changing change happens up here. It doesn't happen with me moving your stuff from point A to point B. It happens to you when you say, what do I think about this? How does it make me feel? And when I feel that way, what do I do? Because if you think it's hard and you're never going to be able to get it done and whatever, you're going to feel defeated, you're going to feel discouraged, and you're going to not do a damn thing. Or you're going to do it until you're like, oh, well, that was hard. It didn't make a difference, whatever. What the real magic happens, and this is why I am a decluttering life coach, is when you think about it better, you feel about it better. When you feel better, you do better. Okay? So when you think, I am worth figuring this shit out right now, I am worth decluttering, I deserve to live in a home that looks and feels like I want it to look and feel like. I deserve to live in a life that looks and feels like I want it to look like. When you say that to yourself, I deserve better, your heart will respond. Your body will be like, you know what? You're right. That's what I call like your co-pilot voice is like, hell yeah, you do. All right, let's do this. I'm like your co-pilot voice. I just got to say, and it's like, all right, yeah, I deserve better. All right, what am I going to do to make my life, make my home look and feel better today? And then you wake up tomorrow and say, what am I going to do today to make my life look and feel better? And then the next day and the next day. Every day when you appreciate what you have, here's the deal. Here's the deal. I always say, here's the deal. There's a lot of deals. Is clutter is an abundance issue. If you have issues with too much stuff, you are lucky. That's because you have more than enough. It's not like you have none. There's like none, there's lack, there's enough, which is almost like, think of Goldilocks, just right. And then there's abundance, too much, an overabundance, right? So if you have too much stuff, pardon me, my nose, I got to get a Kleenex and when I sign off, I'm a hot mess. Consider yourself lucky that you have this abundance. Be grateful for the fact that you have the money to spend on shit that then just sits around and drags you down. What I want to say is, be appreciative of the stuff, but you can also honor the things and let them go. Somebody set up this thread, like, what do I do? How do I get rid of stuff that cost a lot of money? Realize that this is how it works. You guys, this is how all of our clutter gets into our homes, with the exception of stuff that you inherit from people. But mostly we see things in the world that we say, ooh, I bet that could make my life better. I bet that will make my life look easier. I will look better in these clothes. This might make it easier for me to make some food. This will make things better, easier, simpler, more delightful. We see items out there. We then buy those items. We get those items. We bring them into our world. Sometimes those things do add delight and ease and value and betterment, but sometimes they don't. The stuff that adds ease and delight and betterment and joy to your life, you keep that stuff. That's not clutter. But the stuff that didn't work out, the stuff you gave it a shot and it didn't work out, you will rarely, if ever, get your money back from the money you spent. So realize that. As they say in economics, Seth Godin, all those people, ignore the sunk costs. Realize in your life you're going to spend money on things that aren't going to work out, and that hanging on to it is not going to suddenly make it work out. Like I bought a shirt. I never go to the Gap, but I saw a shirt on a mannequin and I thought, God, that looks cool. I want to look like that. And then I forgot that the mannequin at the Gap didn't have a chest, right? And so I bought the shirt. I tried it on myself. I'm like, oh my God, this doesn't look good. I gave it a shot. I wore it a couple of times. I'm like, nah, this is not working. So I just recently washed it, and now it's a bag to donate to somebody else. It's going to happen for the rest of your life, okay? You know what? So make peace with the fact that you're going to make decisions you think are going to work out. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And when they don't hang on to them for longer than you should. Because all it does is drags you down. Okay? So there you go. Let me see. I love it. I'm so glad you found me too. Small kitchen appliances you never get used. Yeah, you know what? Here's the deal. This I think will also help. What I have found is, instead of thinking of I am losing something, I am getting rid of, like this kind of negative connotation of lack, of lose. Like when I lose this thing, it means something bad. How about you are so abundant, you are like the fairy godmother or person or whatever to delight somebody you don't even know. You could revolutionize somebody else's life by simply donating the items that don't work for you to a place where somebody is desperately looking for that stuff. And you may not know that they're desperately looking for it. Like you may have friends and family who are like, no, we're all good. We don't need your stuff. But there could be mystery people out there that are in a thrift store that are desperate to look for something. They're looking for that thing that's hanging out in your closet. but they can't find it because it's hanging in your closet. And it's in your closet and it's doing you no good, right? So why not get it back into circulation? Get it back into flow where it can help somebody else. It can delight them. Even if it's something that, like, for example, like if you look behind me in my shelves, one of the things I enjoyed collecting, because I'm a collector, is vintage train cases, is vintage luggage, right? All of these things would never be delighting me and then maybe delighting you when you see them in my background if somebody on the planet hadn't said, I don't need this anymore. I'm going to donate it to a place. And then I happened to go to that place and I saw it and I thought, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. This brings me joy. But it never would have been able to bring me joy if somebody else hadn't donated it somewhere. So instead of thinking about what you're losing when you're donating, think about what you're gaining. You gain things. You get like 2 bonuses. You gain the space for the life you want because you're removing items that don't matter to you or don't work for you. But you're also gaining a good feeling in your heart because you can believe that that's going to connect up with the exact right person who needs that thing, that other than if you hadn't donated, they would not be able to get it. Okay? So just think about how your abundance can benefit somebody else. And that story makes you feel better. When you feel better about that, yeah, I could be the fairy godmother. I could delight somebody else. I do that. I put good stuff in my donation bags all the time. I save up the good stuff that I want to donate it, and I donate it to places that I know mean a lot to me, so I want them to get the money from it. But what I want to offer is when you think about it better, you feel better, and when you feel better, you do better. You will actually put things in the donation bag. You will actually take your donations to the donation place, and then bonus, then you have less stuff in your life that wasn't working for you anyway. But that all starts with you, boop, deciding that from here, here's where you are, but you deserve to live a life that looks and feels the way you want it to. Deciding that you're going to do stuff, take action that aligns with what you want that destination decluttered to look and feel like for you. I can't answer that. Your house is going to look different than my house. My house is going to look different from your house. Everybody's house, and I say house, but I mean home, wherever you live, should look exactly like you want it to look and feel like. And you can start today by doing that. You know, I'm gonna get off of TikTok in like 3 minutes. I'm gonna blow my nose. I'm gonna make myself a cup of tea, and I'm gonna sit down with my notebook, with my brain, with a little bit of quiet time, and say, all right, I got today. What do I want my home to look and feel like today? What are some things I need to do, I want to do, I have to do? But I know that when I do them, when they're aligned with the life I want, it's going to feel good while I'm doing them. It's like a journey. It's like a road trip, but also when they're done. Okay? And I want to offer that you are worth it. You are worth taking that time to figure that stuff out. If you don't, you're just delaying you getting to the life you want to look and feel like. Oh, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do it. If you don't have time, I want you to get curious. What are you spending your time on? Right? I mean, I know you're here on TikTok, and God knows I spend enough time scrolling on TikTok, but what if we all did this? What if we all did this? After you like my faith thing on TikTok and you sign up for my mailing list and maybe sign up for a consultation, how about in 2 minutes we just shut off our phones? We set our timer for 20 minutes and we sit down and we say, what do I want my life to look and feel like? What do I want my home to look and feel like? Where is it that way? And I love it. And I'm appreciative like you wouldn't get out. I want to be, gratitude journal, that the life out of that stuff. Be grateful for what you have. But there's nothing wrong with saying, where is it not in alignment with where I want to be? And doing that will enable you to see where you can make changes so that your life starts to align more with what you want to look and feel like. That's what I want. I just want to offer that. I love that you're doing your dishes while you're offering, there you go. I see a lot of stuff. I love the fact, can I just share with you that couple of things before I sign off. Oh, I got like a minute. Is thank you for being here on TikTok. Destination Decluttered. My name is Beth. I show up multiple times until I don't, doing TikTok lives and videos and things like that. So if you follow my page, you will find out, you'll be notified when I go live. I'm going live tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. There is a schedule that I pinned to the top of my page that will give you the dates and times for this upcoming, like until next Friday, I think, because then it's Memorial Day weekend and I can't even look past after that. But the other thing too is what I want to offer is you are worth it. You are worth figuring out, getting quiet, listening to your brain, and saying, what do I want my life to look and feel like? Write that stuff down. Don't just leave it up here. That's the one thing I'd implore you to do, is get your thoughts out of your head, get them onto paper so you can look at them. Then you can rewrite the negative ones, keep the good ones, and those, what goes on up here, is going to make you feel different here. When you feel different here, you do different here. And when you do different, you get different results. And not just different, but when you align your thoughts and your feelings and your actions to a destination that you want to look and feel like, you're going to get there. Okay? You got this. I will see you tomorrow. Everybody have an awesome day. I, too, am going to sit down with my notebook and my cup of tea to say, what do I want my life to look and feel like today and in the future? I hope you do the same. All right? I'll see you later. Bye.